From mythical creatures and strange ocean discoveries,
what y'all think it is?
To extraterrestrial sightings and massive reptiles, this land is unveiling its long hidden mysteries.
Look at them fucking teeth on that.
Join us as we uncover the most unbelievable discoveries that were never meant to be seen.
I swear to God, this fish better not fucking eat me now. Look at them fucking teeth on that.
Have you ever seen a fish that looks straight out of a horror movie? A boy walking by a lake found something wild. A big, sharp-toothed fish lying on the shore. Curious, he grabbed a stick and poked around, showing off its massive teeth. The fish looked like a pike, a predator known for its speed and razor-sharp bite. But this one? It was about 2 feet long and looked even more intense, with its exposed jaw and bony head. Even crazier, some photos of it even made it into the news.
Check that gob out on that! Oh yeah!
Flying toad. A boy was out exploring when he spotted something hopping in the mud. At first he thought it was a giant toad, but then, plot twist. It stopped on a dried bush and started making scared little noises. That's when he realized it wasn't a toad at all. Turns out it was a sunda flying lemur. These creatures don't actually fly. They glide using a skin flap stretched between their limbs. This little guy must have been startled because it quickly jumped again and moved a bit lower. The boy kept recording for a while, but in the end, he decided to leave the poor, nervous creature alone. Whale or monster? Sometimes, nature throws something huge our way. Literally, last week, a massive 50-foot-long sea creature washed up on a beach in Indonesia, leaving everyone stunned. Locals rushed to take photos, and soon the bizarre sight spread across the internet. Scientists later confirmed it was a baleen whale, identified by its skeleton and filter feeding system. As it decomposed, gases built up inside, making it swell and release a terrible smell. Usually, whales sink to the ocean floor, feeding deep-sea creatures. But this one likely floated due to bacteria or a possible collision with a ship. Either way, it was a shocking sight to stumble upon. Creature on the stone. Sea creatures washing ashore always seem to bring a sense of mystery, and this one was no different. A long, black, dried-up creature was found lying on a stone by the beach. Its body looked totally out of place, shriveled and dark, like it had been there for quite some time. It was an unusual sight, definitely not what you'd expect to see while strolling along the beach. After some investigation, it turned out to be an eel. Who knows what'll be waiting on the next beach walk? Definitely something to think about. The river's haunting. Rivers can hide all kinds of things, but no one expected this. A group of villagers stood in the murky water, staring at something unbelievable. One of them reached down and grabbed onto long, dark hair, pulling it up just enough to reveal a pale, lifeless face beneath the surface. The others froze, their eyes wide with shock. Some pulled out their phones, recording the eerie discovery as whispers filled the air. Legends of water spirits and ghosts have existed for generations, warning people about what lurks beneath. Whether this was a shocking find or just something unexplainable, the fear on their faces said it all. Whatever they had just pulled from the water, it wasn't something they ever wanted to see again. Ancient swimmer found. Some creatures have been around forever, and the tadpole shrimp is one of them. A person exploring a mountain lake stumbled upon these little prehistoric swimmers, living proof that some things just never go extinct. These crustaceans had been around for over 300 million years, sharing the planet with dinosaurs. Their bodies looked ancient, with a hard shell covering their back, almost like a tiny horseshoe crab. They weren't actually shrimp, but their name stuck. What's really wild? Their eggs could survive years without water, just waiting for the right moment to hatch. Seeing one in the wild? Now that's a rare sight. Taming a giant. When something unbelievable happens, people rush to see it. And that's exactly what was going on. Early in the morning, villagers from all around gathered in the town center to witness the massive crocodile. At first, it seemed calm, and one daring villager even touched its snout. But this was no ordinary croc. It was a true giant, stretching over 18 feet long, possibly one of the biggest ever captured alive. It didn't go down without a fight, thrashing wildly and even crushing a rice cart before finally tiring out. Within an hour, the villagers managed to get it back under control. What a moment! Crocodile sneaky trap. In Indonesia, saltwater crocodiles apparently figured out a new hunting strategy, pretending to drown. Yeah, these massive predators actually faked struggling in the water, making it seem like they were in trouble. But the moment someone got too close, game over. Saltwater crocodiles are already one of the most dangerous reptiles on Earth. They can grow over 20 feet long, swim with terrifying speed, and now they're using deception too? It's a brutal but effective way to catch prey. If this behavior keeps up, it might just be one of the smartest hunting tactics ever seen in the wild. Giant carcass mystery. In Cambodia, a massive, strange-looking carcass appeared, drawing a huge crowd. People called it a kaiju monster. But let's be real, no giant movie monsters were running around. Most likely, this was a decomposing whale or a massive fish that had drifted inland. When sea creatures break down, their bodies swell and change shape, making them look unrecognizable. This has happened before. Bloated remains often spark wild theories about undiscovered creatures. The crowd's excitement made sense. Whether it was just a whale or something more unusual, one thing was clear: people love a good mystery. Monkey overboard. A peaceful boat ride turned into a surprise rescue when something dark appeared in the water, heading straight for the boat. Long black arms reached up, gripping the side of the vessel. For a moment, it looked like some unknown creature was trying to climb aboard, but then the truth became clear. It was a monkey. The little guy had likely fallen from a tree and ended up in the river. Whether swimming or just trying to stay afloat, it wasn't about to let this boat pass by without help. Once on board, it sat calmly, enjoying the ride. Unusual discovery. A quiet walk in the bush took an unexpected turn when a man and his dog stumbled upon something unusual. While exploring the back of a property, the dog suddenly became alert, sniffing the air before rushing towards something in the grass. Lying there were the remains of an eel-like creature, or at least something that looked like one. It had large, sharp teeth, strange breathing holes on the side of its head, and no legs at all. The discovery was both fascinating and puzzling. The creature's features didn't seem to match any common animal, leaving the man wondering what exactly he had found.
You got something down here that's fucking weird.
Washed up mystery. People have always been fascinated by the idea of mermaids, but imagine actually finding one on the beach. That's exactly what happened when villagers came across something unusual washed up on the shore. They gathered around, shining lights and snapping pictures. The figure lay still on the sand, its long tail stretched out behind it. Speculations arose, and people started assuming it was a mermaid. Authorities were called who took the specimen to an unknown location, and till date, no one knows what it actually was. Hognosed rat. Scientists exploring a remote Indonesian forest made a surprising discovery: a brand new species of rat. This unusual rodent, now named the hog-nosed rat, had some wild features never seen in other rats. With its long face, big ears, and pig-like nose, this little creature was unlike anything researchers had encountered.
It's got a nose like a hog.
It even had strange lower teeth, similar to shrew rats, and oddly long pubic hairs, a trait seen in some Australian mammals. The team had been setting traps for days before finally spotting the rat. One scientist immediately recognized it as a new species and called for his colleagues. Now preserved in an Indonesian museum, this rat is another piece of the puzzle in understanding evolution in the region.
Really just charismatically different.
World's biggest snake. Snakes come in all shapes and sizes, but this one, absolutely massive. In Indonesia, people rushed to see what was being called the longest snake in the world, a 49-foot, 984-pound reticulated python. Just imagine running into that in the wild. This giant was found on Sumatra Island, where a local tribe had kept it in captivity and even revered it as a leader. In an animal park, the snake became a huge attraction, tripling the number of visitors. And how did it get so big? Well, handlers said it ate up to 5 full-grown dogs a month. That's a lot. Nature never fails to impress or terrify. Real-life golem? Of all the things you'd expect to see in a forest, Smeagol isn't one of them. But in 2022, a tourist in a remote Siberian forest captured something bizarre on camera. A thin, pale figure moving between the trees. It had long limbs, a hunched posture, and an eerie way of sneaking around, looking just like the Lord of the Rings character. It almost seemed too strange to be real. But there it was, clear as day. Was it a person? A trick of the light? Either way, imagine walking through the woods and locking eyes with that. Not exactly a peaceful hike. Wall-crawling beast. A massive anaconda was seen climbing a wall like it owned the place. These snakes are some of the biggest on Earth, reaching lengths of over 30 feet and weighing more than 500 pounds. They're built for power, stealth, and serious muscle, squeezing their prey with a force that's almost impossible to escape. Anacondas usually stick to swamps and rivers, but clearly, this one had other plans. Seeing a snake this big moving up a wall is both fascinating and slightly terrifying. Like, imagine walking outside and finding this thing just casually making its way up your house. Strange hybrid found. The world has seen some unusual animal hybrids, but this one stood out. A creature with the body of an armadillo and a face that looked oddly human. And the strangest part? It wasn't just still, it was moving its head, shaking like it was reacting to something. The way it moved made it even more unsettling, almost like it was aware of its surroundings. This wasn't just another animal sighting, it was something truly bizarre. Moments like this remind us just how strange nature can be. Weird but useful.
Guys, ada saya punya taripang. Ini pinam taripang nanas.
Sea cucumbers were not the first thing people thought of when imagining cool sea creatures. But they always managed to surprise. One woman found a strange-looking sea cucumber and quickly shared it online. And honestly, who could blame her? This was not an ordinary sea cucumber. It was a pineapple sea cucumber. Thick, bumpy, and covered in spikes, it almost looked like a giant underwater fruit. But despite its rough appearance, it had an important job. These creatures helped keep the ocean floor clean, like little underwater recyclers. Weird? Definitely. But also proof that nature had a creative side.
Lucu tuh yang model, nah DP bawa kamu lihat ya bagian guys ya.
Bigfoot's thumb?
Whatever it is, it's got a big giant fucking fingernail on it. What y'all think it is?
People have spotted Bigfoot plenty of times. Blurry pictures, weird footprints, you name it. But have you ever seen its thumb? Well, someone walking through the jungle sure did. It was just sticking out of the ground near a tree. At first, it looked like some old rock or crystal. But after a little digging, a giant, solid, petrified thumb. It even had a massive fingernail on it. The person picked it up, shocked at how big and heavy it was. Could this be from a prehistoric creature? A massive primate? Bigfoot himself? Whatever it was, it definitely wasn't normal.
Bigfoot toe. Or somebody's thumb.
Tribe with spears. A hidden tribe deep in Indonesia's forests appeared in a shocking new video, holding spears and warning outsiders to stay away. The footage showed members of the uncontacted tribe standing near huge bulldozers tearing down their forest. They raised their weapons, trying to protect their home as trees crashed to the ground. It was a powerful and heartbreaking moment. The land was being destroyed for nickel mining, used in electric car batteries. Activists said this was a disaster for the tribe, as their way of life was being wiped out. With their forest disappearing, where would they go? Sea monster or driftwood? Did a woman just film a massive sea creature in Aceh, Indonesia? The footage showed something large moving through the water, and for a moment, it looked like a legendary sea monster. The Loch Ness of Indonesia? Maybe not. While some viewers were convinced it was something mysterious, many pointed out that it was likely just debris drifting with the waves. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of spotting something unusual in the ocean. With the right angle and lighting, even an old piece of wood can look like a sea creature. Still, for a brief moment, it had people wondering, what if? Unbelievable sky sight. You know those moments when you spot something in the sky that completely catches you off guard? This one was definitely one of those. It started when a group of villagers gathered around, probably because a helicopter had just landed nearby. But then, out of nowhere, a loud noise came from the clouds. As everyone looked up, something huge started moving above them. It was so massive and nearly invisible, blending perfectly with the clouds. But then the camera caught it. It was a massive UFO, transparent and enormous, hovering up in the sky. Seeing something that big and unexpected in the air was definitely a moment no one would forget. Mermaid in sight. People have told stories about mermaids for centuries, but what if someone actually saw one? A man was out on a boat when he spotted something unusual. Mermaids in the water, and get this, they weren't scared at all. They just kept swimming, almost like they were having fun. The man even waved, and the mermaid didn't seem to mind. Stories like this pop up all the time, especially in places like the Dominican Republic, where the ocean is full of life. Could there be more to these tales than just legends? Either way, it's always exciting to hear about what people see out at sea. A legendary mistake. Bigfoot sightings always get people talking. Some believe it's real, while others laugh it off. But every now and then, something strange pops up in the woods. That's exactly what happened when a massive, shadowy figure was spotted among the trees. It stood tall, barely moving, making it look even more mysterious. For a moment, it really seemed like a legendary creature had appeared. But as it stepped into the sunlight, the truth was clear. It was just a man carrying a giant beehive. He wore thick protective gear to avoid getting stung, making him look way bigger than he actually was. So no Bigfoot this time, just a beekeeper doing his job. The walking shark. Scientists exploring Indonesia's waters made an incredible discovery: a shark that walked. Instead of just swimming, this little shark used its fins like legs, moving slowly across the ocean floor. It wandered over rocks and coral, searching for food like small fish and crustaceans. Unlike most sharks that rely on speed, this one took a more relaxed approach. Walking helped it navigate shallow waters and coral reefs without much effort. Experts said it was an amazing example of evolution in action. Indonesia is home to some of the world's most unique marine life, and this shark just made the list even more exciting. Fairy on camera?
Oh my god, yo, that's a fairy.
Fairies have always been part of myths and stories. Tiny, winged creatures fluttering through forests and hidden places. But what if someone actually saw one in real life? That's exactly what happened here. A girl noticed something small flying near a lake, and as soon as she saw it, she grabbed her phone and started recording. The video showed a peaceful lake with trees and a stone wall, but the real focus was the tiny winged figure moving through the air. It wasn't just a blur or a trick of light. She saw it flying and knew she had to capture the moment. Fairies have been part of folklore for centuries, appearing in legends from different cultures. But in the real world, most fairy sightings turn out to be insects, birds, or even digital effects. So, did she really capture a fairy on camera, or was it something else?
Just graduated and I'm seeing a fucking fairy in real life.
The giant bee returns.
Mythical Pluto, the world's largest bee, and something I've dreamed of seeing for about 9 years.
Wallace's giant bee, once thought to be gone forever, showed up again in Indonesia's North Moluccas. This bee was as big as an adult's thumb, with massive jaws like a stag beetle, and it was 4 times larger than a honeybee. Just imagine that buzzing past your head. A team of researchers had been searching for days, hoping to find this legendary insect. And then, there it was, a single female, living inside a termite nest high in a tree. It was proof that nature still had hidden secrets, just waiting to be uncovered. Odd swimmer.
Hi, friend! Hi, little friend! Oh, you're cute!
This fish had a really odd mouth. It looked like it was stuck in the middle, almost like it had a little smirk. No wonder people found it so interesting. And the best part, the person in the video didn't just look at it, she actually played with it and even touched its head. Some fish are just born with strange features because of their species. Others might develop unusual looks due to small genetic changes or environmental effects. Either way, it was definitely a cool sight.
Hi, you're cute! Hi, friend! Hi, friend!
A tangled fight. Snakes can be terrifying, but imagine coming face to face with a gigantic python. That's exactly what happened in Indonesia when villagers found a massive serpent. One unlucky person ended up tangled in the snake's powerful coils, while others rushed to help. It was a wild scene. People wrestling the huge python, trying to free their friend. After a serious struggle, they finally managed to cage the snake. The whole thing was caught on video and quickly went viral, with millions watching the intense showdown. Spiky catfish.
Look at that catfish. It's got spikes running all the way down inside. If you rub it this way, you're gonna get cut.
Catfish are some of the toughest fish out there. But this one looked like it swam straight out of prehistoric times. It had sharp spikes running down its body, almost like armor. Anyone who touched it the wrong way would definitely feel it. Its underbelly was just as fascinating. Thick, rough, and built for protection. It was a true survivor, perfectly designed for life in the jungle waters. Seeing it up close was unbelievable.
You never know what you're gonna see here in the jungle.
Double trouble. This rare snake was spotted in a village in eastern India, and people couldn't believe their eyes. It measured about 30 centimeters long and caused quite a scene as it slithered through the area. Instead of being afraid, the villagers were amazed. Some even fed it milk, believing it was special. Officials wanted to take it in, but the locals refused because of its connection to mythology. Experts explained that the extra head was likely caused by an embryo not splitting properly or environmental issues. Mutations like this are rare, but they did happen. Still, a two-headed cobra? That was a sight no one forgot. Giant croc sighting. Crocodiles are some of the most powerful reptiles in the world, and saltwater crocodiles are the biggest of them all. One of these massive creatures was spotted resting in the mud, and it was huge. These reptiles could grow over 20 feet long and weigh more than 2,000 pounds. Seeing one up close must have been both amazing and terrifying. Saltwater crocs, or salties, are expert hunters. They hide in muddy water, waiting for the perfect moment to strike with their powerful jaws. They blend into their surroundings so well that prey never saw them coming. Now, imagine paddling through a river and suddenly spotting this beast right in front of you. Would you have taken a picture or gotten out of there as fast as possible? Enormous snake lifted. Snakes are fascinating creatures, but some are just on another level. This one? Absolutely massive. It looked like something from a prehistoric jungle. Thick, heavy, and just hanging there like it ruled the world. From its sheer size, it was probably a giant python or even an anaconda. If this thing had been moving near people, it would have definitely caught some attention, and maybe even sent a few running. The scale of it almost seemed unreal, but nature always has surprises. And here's the wildest part. Someone actually pulled this beast off a bulldozer and recorded the whole thing while lifting it from a truck. Snake Lady. Disappearing for months and then showing up in a cave? That was something you didn't hear every day. A girl had been missing for almost 3 months. Her family searched everywhere but found nothing. Then, out of nowhere, she appeared in a cave. But here's the part that really shocked people. She was acting like a snake. No one could believe it. What had happened in those months? Was she cursed by some evil spirit? Some even claimed she was gradually turning into a snake. While people had many questions, one thing was clear. This was one of the strangest missing person stories ever. A tail too long. Lizards come in all shapes and sizes, but some can really make you look twice. One person came across a strange-looking lizard that had a tail much longer than usual, almost like a snake. It was brown with white stripes, blending well with its surroundings. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary lizard, but that extra long tail made it stand out. Turns out, it was a snake lizard. These reptiles may look unusual, but they are completely harmless. Mermaid with dolphins. Lately, videos of mermaid sightings have been all over the internet. And this one? It was something else. A group of beachgoers was enjoying the sight of dolphins gliding through the waves when something strange happened. Among the pod of dolphins, they noticed a humanoid-shaped figure moving through the water. At first, they thought it was just another dolphin, until they realized it had arms. Since when do dolphins have arms? Could this have been the legendary Mermaid, simply playing around? No one can say for sure, as the mysterious figure vanished after that rare sighting and was never seen again. Tailless terror. Recently, a video went viral showing a small crocodile running swiftly on the wet surface. The strange part, this crocodile was missing its tail. People after watching this reptile were both amazed and confused, wondering if this was born this way or met a tragedy. Some species, like lizards, drop their tails to escape predators, but crocodiles don't have that skill. If a croc loses its tail, it's usually due to an injury, a fight with another crocodile, or even an attack from a bigger predator. Without a tail, swimming and hunting become much harder, but some crocodiles still manage to survive. The fish spearer. In the middle of a quiet lake, something black moved just beneath the surface. It had a long, snake-like neck and sharp eyes locked onto its next meal. This wasn't some strange creature. It was an anhinga, a bird built for underwater hunting. Unlike other water birds, it didn't float for long. Instead, it dove deep, swimming with ease before striking fish with its beak like a living harpoon. After catching its prey, it swallowed it whole, then perched nearby, spreading its wings to dry. With its dark feathers and sharp gaze, it looked more like a warrior than a bird. Double-headed wonder. You never know what you'll find in the world of fish. This one, though, it had two heads. A rare silver arowana like no other. It looked like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Arowanas were already famous for their sleek, dragon-like bodies and crazy jumping skills. But this one, it was on another level. At first, it seemed like a reflection, but no. Both heads were real. Mutations like this didn't happen often, especially in such a prized fish. Arowanas were symbols of luck and prosperity in many cultures. And this one? Well, double the heads, double the luck. Ancient sea giant. The ocean has always been home to massive and fascinating creatures, but most of them stay hidden far below. This time, though, one washed up on a beach in Ireland, leaving everyone amazed. Scientists thought it might have been a pliosaur, a prehistoric marine reptile that ruled the seas millions of years ago. Pliosaurs were powerful hunters, with huge jaws and razor-sharp teeth, built for crushing anything in their way. But how did one end up on land? If this one appeared, could more be out there? The ocean still has so much to reveal, and finds like this remind us how much we still have to discover. Bug Battle Showdown. Arizona is home to some of the most intense wildlife, but this was next level. A huge wasp dragged a massive grasshopper like it was nothing. That was a tarantula hawk wasp, one of the strongest insect hunters out there. These things could take down creatures way bigger than themselves, and their sting, one of the worst you could experience. Once this wasp picked its target, there was no escape. Arizona already had rattlesnakes and scorpions, and now insects were having epic battles right on the sidewalk. Meeting a giant.
Water. Run out of bananas, need some more bananas.
Tortoises are amazing creatures, but most of us are used to the small ones we see in aquariums or as pets. This one, it was on a whole different level. It wasn't just big. It was massive. Its shell was thick and domed. Its legs were sturdy, and it looked like it had been around for ages. And honestly, it probably had. Giant tortoises like the Aldabra or Galapagos species can live for over 100 years. A woman, likely a caretaker, fed it as it slowly stretched its long neck forward. It moved calmly, completely unbothered, showing just how gentle and relaxed these giant creatures are. Seeing one up close must have been incredible. 2 heads, 1 shell. You don't see this every day. A turtle with 2 heads. This little one had a rare condition called bicephaly, where an animal develops 2 heads instead of 1. It happened when the embryo didn't fully split during development, kind of like conjoined twins. But even with its unusual look, it seemed completely fine. Both heads moved on their own, almost like they had different personalities. Imagine trying to walk when 2 brains had to agree on a direction. While turtles like this can have challenges, many live long, healthy lives with proper care. It's just another reminder of how nature works in unexpected ways. Open discussion. Now this is the kind of thing that makes you do a double take. A strange-looking creature, part lizard, part fish, and maybe something else. And the craziest part? It was real. The person in the video was petting it, and it actually looked like it was smiling. Some people said it looked like a baby mermaid, while others thought it might be a mutated animal. It wasn't just some odd-looking animal caught on camera. It reacted to touch. It had an expression. That unsettling little smile? Yeah, that's the part that really sticks with you. Nature sure knows how to keep us on our toes. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.